Alright guys, we are back. In the last tutorial we looked at how we could make the sketch, and in this one we're going to clean it up by making some line art on top of it. You can see that I've already started. The first thing I did, however, is just to check if the line art is looking good. Sorry, the sketch. So if something is out of order, if there's something I want to change, I try to do it before I get too much into making the line art. So what I did now is to make a new sheet. I set down the opacity so I can start drawing on top. On the line art I use a brush where it has the pressure sensitivity controls the thickness of the brush. I'm not doing the opacity thing with the brush anymore because you don't need it to be more transparent when you're doing the line art. So that's basically why I don't do it here. And you can see it's fairly straightforward. I just draw on top of what I already did. I tried to indicate with the line what it is that we see. So you can see around the beard I kind of make it a bit more shaky to indicate that this is a beard or hair or something like that. When it's straight, like on cloth or wood, I would make really straight lines, but on beard and stuff like that, hair, I use a more shaky line. And that's simply because it gives the indication of it being hair. So that's a really nice way to do it. A trick that I use is that if a line is very close to the camera, it will be thick. And if it's very far away from the camera, it will be thinner. If you're not sure what I mean, I suggest that you go look at Van Gogh's drawings. He made a lot of drawings where he used very thick line in the foreground, and in the background it's very, very thin. It's a bit hard to explain, but it gives the sense of depth, I think it's called. Anyway, I try to do that as well. So if I have something overlapping, like a shirt overlapping the belt, or the jacket overlapping the belt like we have here, I try to make the line of the jacket be thicker in order to see that it's in front of the other things. I also try to, when I have the line going into like an overlapping, I try to ease out the line, so it will start thick and then it will be thin and almost disappear in the end. So that's a nice way to do these lines. You can see that I also try to make the line in one cut. If I don't make the line the first time, I just press Ctrl C and regret it. So it's a lot about how you do the line in the first go. You can just try to do it, because if you do it really slow, the line will become very shaky. So you can't really do it slow, you have to do it fast. When you're doing it fast though, you make a lot of mistakes, so you have to redo it a lot. But I guess that's just how it is. Most of the time it's going okay. It's when you have to do a line that's straight and it's very long, it can be very tricky. So I tend to just try to do it and do it over and over again. But you can see that this goes fairly quick. There's not much to it. The only thing you should think about is overlapping and how thick the line is, and also what material it is. And this gives a lot to the character. If you make a line that fits, some use a line as a style guide, so they have a very shaky line on it, and that's also a thing you can do. So the reason why I'm doing this line work is because, you know, when you're doing 3D, there's not really a line art. But if you do this, you will have a much more clear understanding about how the character look, because you can't really hide that much in these line arts. You have to draw everything and you have to kind of define it. So you can't have any holes in the drawing and stuff like that, and you have to go over everything in order to make it sharp and nice. That's why it's a good thing. The other thing is that when you then are putting tone on it, you don't have to spend that much time on rendering and making tones, because you already have the line art to support the concept. And this means that it goes a lot faster when you're making the tones. So it's a fast way to work, but it doesn't give you the quite the 3D feeling that if you didn't have the line art. So it's a compromise, I would say, also because in some cases you don't have that much time just to make a concept. I think I spent about 1.5 to 2 working days on this, from everything from the thumbnails to this final concept. And I think I'm gonna spend about 1.5 hours on rendering. I did that in real life, so the video is probably not gonna be that long. It's gonna be a lot shorter. So you can see that I already been almost finished with this. Actually, it went pretty fast. And that's the beauty of it, and it's pretty brainless work because you don't have to think about that many things when you're doing it. I'm just trying to fix a little bit of things. I mean, the hand was really annoying me. I don't know, I don't think it looks right, and I still really don't like it the way it is now. So I don't think I realized it yet, but later on I'll try to fix it. Thank God. Yeah, but I'm just doing some small details right now. I'm also trying to indicate where the sewings, maybe it's called that, is. So it's really just small fine-tuning right now. I'm doing the feather as well, and you can see that I make small cuts into it, just to indicate with the line that this is a feather instead of being something really solid. I'm also doing the sword. Now the problem is, when you have all this line work, you can't really see what material it is other than a little bit on the line art. So what I'm going to do in a moment is that I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to add textures in it, but only with line art. You can kind of enhance the line art just by making indications of what the texture should be, and that also gives a lot to the character. So I'm also adding some wrinkles. So I now realizes that there's something with the hand, and I'm trying to fix it. And you can see I spend a lot of time just trying to fix it, but in reality I have to do it over. But I think I'm going to leave it for now. And I'm going to give it a bit more attention to the face. So what I'm doing here now is that I'm using the liquid tool, and I'm trying to reshape the face a bit, just to mess up the proportions a bit. I feel like the face was being too big in the concept, so I tried to make it smaller, and you can see there's a lot of change. I like the new one a lot, just because it makes the design uneven, and as I said, an interesting design is not an even well proportionized guy. We want some funny proportions. And you can see here I started with adding the textures, and it already gives a lot to the beard. You can clearly see that it's a beard, and I'm also making some wrinkles and on the lips. So his lips looks like lips, and on the brows, on his wooden leg, to indicate that this is wood. And I'm also trying to get some reflections in on the metal parts, just to indicate the material again. And you can see his boots, maybe it's leather, so it has kind of a shininess to it, and this should be leather as well, so I'm trying to some way indicate that. And I'm going to add some buttons as well. But I mean, you can clearly see on the beard how much it gives to the character. So that's really a simple way, and it doesn't take long. I think I spent 10 minutes on it or something. So it's amazing how much it can do in such a short amount of time. And of course the feather should have some stuff as well. But I think this wraps up this part. Thanks a lot for listening to me. We learned about line art and textures in these videos. On the next videos we are going to look at how to block in tones and how to render the shit out of it. So we are going to have something we can present to people, and hopefully they will look at it. Hey, that's nice, I want to make it in 3D, or I would like myself to make it in 3D or something like that. So, see you in a moment. Thank you for watching.